What's up, everyone? Welcome into another Game Day update. I'm Kelcey. That's Mike. Tonight, the Grizzlies will take on the number 3 team in the West. The Grizzlies are up 4 games on them right now, and that's the Golden State Warriors. They're going to be playing right here in FedExForum at 7:00 p.m. I think we start with the injury report. I don't love to do this, but I do feel like it's probably the biggest storyline going into today, Mike. So let me just do a little roll call. Right now for the Grizzlies, John Morant's still out, Killian Tilly's still out. Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr. are questionable right now, so we'll see if they suit up closer to game time. But I'm not going to look at the camera once again because this one is long. Let me pull out my notebook for the Warriors. We know that Wiseman is out. Steph Curry is out. Andre Iguodala is questionable. The coach has said that Clay and Draymond Green will most likely not play. Right now it is doubtful. Otto Porter Jr. is also doubtful. So that leaves them with still some guys. This team is still really good. There's a reason they're in 3rd place in the West. They got Jordan Poole. They got Andrew Wiggins, the all-star. They've got Kevon Looney, who's done damage in the past against the Grizzlies. So this one's going to come down to the Grizzlies have won 2 of the 3 matchups so far this year. This is the 4th and final of the regular season against the Warriors. What do the Grizzlies got to do?
Yeah, I mean, just continue to do what they've done on this homestand right here. I mean, they're 3-0 on this 4-game homestand. They've dominated each one of these games, won all 3 so far by double figures, completely smacked basically the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday. Had a double-figure win, basically almost led wire to wire, except for a couple stages in the late third, fourth quarter against the Brooklyn Nets. The Grizzlies are defending home court really, really well right now. 7 straight victories at home. You want to start dominating at home this time of year as you get ready for the playoffs. So what do? Continue to play their style of basketball, which is passing the ball, scoring in the paint, forcing turnovers, and just being relentless at the 3-point line right now. It's not streaky when you can do it every single game. DeAnthony Melton, Desmond Bane are 3-point assassins right now. They flipped the Golden State Warriors game plan on Golden State. They have a chance to do that tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing those 3 balls continue to fall.
All right, let's unpack some of the things that you just said. We'll get to specific players, but you talked about points in the paint. The last game that the Grizzlies played the Warriors, they outscored the Warriors from beyond the 3. They also outscored them from the paint. When you look at kind of as a whole, though, the Golden State Warriors are 3rd in 3-point attempts. They're super high in percentage as well. A lot of that has to do with Steph Curry, who is out tonight. The Grizzlies more at the bottom of that list in terms of 3-point attempts, but they do lead in points in the paint, where the Warriors are at the bottom of the league in that. Again, Wiseman out, but Kevon Looney, a very good guy to step up in that spot. When you look at points in the paint and you look at the 3-pointers on the defensive end for the Grizzlies, who do they need to stop tonight?
Ooh, points in the paint. I mean, obviously, with the Warriors do a lot of things outside in. So they basically have a lot of backdoor cuts. They bring their bigs to the free throw line, extend it, and then pass the ball cutting to the basket. So, any action that gets into the lane is what you want to stop. The guards are going to have to be assignment specific. They're going to have to keep their head on a swivel. So it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's just those actions. That backdoor action is going to be key. So that's Desmond Bane. That's DeAnthony Melton. Kyle Anderson has a great time deflecting passes in those kind of situations. So don't allow those cross-court passes to come across in those back doors. So they're going to have to do that. And then when you talk about the 3-point ball, I mean, again, when Andrew Wiggins can hit 3s, they're hurting you. He's not their first option when it comes to 3s, but he's going to definitely be one of those guys that he can be streaky from out there. So the Grizzlies, basically, if you could eliminate the backdoor paint, I think you can kind of control and take your chances with the 3 ball because, again, Steph is out. We'll see did you say Klay Thompson is out as well, too?
He's most likely.
He's most likely out.
So if
he's most likely out, they're not going to beat you from the 3-point line. I think you can overwhelm them from 3-point scoring from your side. So just eliminate the backdoor cuts, protect the lane, and I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I would for sure put a little respect onto Jordan Poole's shot as well. He's a streaky shooter. He's not necessarily the most consistent, especially for the Warriors, but he can get streaky. Yeah. Okay, now let's move on to another thing that you talked about, and that is Desmond Bane and DeAnthony Melton. One in the starting lineup, one has been coming off the bench the last 4 games. Desmond Bane has been insane. 24 points per game, 5.5 assists, shooting 58% from the field. which sounds crazy, 58%. Wow. And then there's DeAnthony Melton, who's been shooting 62% from the three-point line. He's 21 of 34 in the last 4 games. Now, obviously, we don't know who's playing. We don't know about Jaren right now, so we don't know exactly who's going to be in that starting lineup. I would assume that Melt continues to come off the bench and be that fire for that second unit. But how do you take advantage of how hot these guys have been, especially against a team that, yes, they can shoot. Normally, that means in practice, they're very good at defending the shooters as well.
Right. A great point you made right there. I don't think under any circumstances does Taylor Jenkins put DeAnthony Melton in the starting lineup, because I think you need that offset. You need a guy that can do it in the starting lineup and a guy that comes off your bench. The reason why the Grizzlies have been successful this second half of the season, particularly in the last 3 or 4 weeks, is because there's been no drop-off. No drop-off in terms of scoring and production, three-point shooting, energy from the starters. And then when you go to DeAnthony Melton and Brandon Clark coming off that bench, they're giving you that same level of energy that you're getting from Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the starting lineup. So it's one of those situations where when you can't have any drop off from your first unit to your second unit, and now Tyus has gone and played both as Josh sort of been out, that's the magic of this team right now, is their depth. And then when you're looking at the Warriors, they're not playing well at all. They've lost 5 of 6. I think they're basically conceding the number 2 seed at this point. If the Grizzlies can get a win tonight, it basically puts a wrap on it for the most part. And, they have to do so much to try to catch the Grizzlies from that situation. So the Grizzlies can almost secure the number 2 seed with the victory tonight. And that means so much, especially when you're playing so well at home. There's only one other team right now that can take home court advantage from you, and that will be the Phoenix Suns. Only other team in the league that has a better record than you right now. So the Grizzlies, this number 2 seed does mean a lot, and I think they can do some damage by hitting those three-point balls and keeping that balance going heading into tonight.
We will talk about the Phoenix Suns in just a few days, but today let's finish off talking about this number 3 seed in the Warriors. You made a lot of good points here, so let's end with what we think. Do you want to do a key player or a key stat tonight?
Let's go key. You know what? I'll take a key player. You take a key stat. I know you got stats galore. Stats galore. Yes.
Key player tonight.
So my key player tonight, I want to see how, and you've already mentioned him, but I want to see how hot DeAnthony Melton can continue to be. I mean, this is a guy over the last 4 or 5 games, you talked about it, 62% from three-point range. I mean, that's unheard of. You know what I mean? That's almost like Steph territory when Steph gets on one of these streaks.
That would be like having one good game would be like amazing, but 4?
Yes, to keep doing it like that. I mean, and again, this is a guy, he's not only doing it from three-point range, but he's also getting to the basket as well, too. He's continuing to get steals and deflections, and he's dunking on dudes as well now, too. So I love to see what DeAnthony's doing. He's my key player of the game.
Okay, I'm going to put 2 stats together, and I did mention this a little bit earlier. The last time that these 2 teams played, it was a victory, and they, like I said, not only outscored them in the paint, which they should. This should be a game where Steven Adams feeds. If Jaren Jackson Jr. plays, he should feed because they are missing key guys. The points in the paint should be a lock. It's the three-point line. And I know that it's so easy to look at this team without Steph, without Clay possibly, and be like, of course they're not going to outshoot them from the three-point line. But this team is so deep in terms of who can shoot. It may not be as consistent. It may not be at the same volume, obviously, as Steph shoots, but this team is a good shooting team, even without Steph, even without Clay. And they've shown that. It's like they have not had their full roster the entire year. One guy comes back, the very next game, someone else gets injured. That happened with when Clay came back, and then Draymond got injured. Draymond came back, and then Steph got injured. They've been without their guys, so they know how to play. It's very similar to the Grizzlies. They know how to play without him. This team knows how to play without their players as well. So it's definitely not like a rollover game. I do think that you're most likely right. Like with the guys that they are resting, they haven't had these guys play in the second half of a back-to-back all year. So it is kind of a, okay, you guys take the 2, we'll take the 3, and we'll meet again, hopefully in playoffs. But a win tonight would be big. I think if you can outscore them from the paint, which I think is an easy task for them. It's like an easy goal. The bigger goal is to outscore them from beyond the arc. And I do think that, especially with Des, especially with Dylan, especially with Melton out there, I think it's doable. And I think whoever wins that 3-point battle wins the game tonight.
And you said it. The Grizzlies have already done it once in a victory over the Warriors. They won both the paint
and Steph was in that game.
Steph was there. So yeah, you're absolutely, and Clay was too, right? Mm-hmm. So that was one of Clay's first games back. Mm-hmm. And so it's already been done before. Get that blueprint from the last time the Warriors came here. Do it again. Grizzlies should be fine.
Done. The game tips off today at 7 o'clock here at FedExForum. Mike and I are in the forum right now already. We're waiting for you guys to get here. If you want to come, you can get your tickets at 901-888-HOOP or grizzlies.com. If you want to stay home, chill with your family, have a nice pasta dinner, make sure you're tuning in on Valley Sports Southeast.